right, good morning, everybody. Hey, Brent. Hey, Steve.
How's it going, man?
Melissa, Missy.
How's that baby?
Good morning, everybody. Say hi to Brent.
Good morning, Brent.
What's up, guys? Hey, hey.
Good morning.
All right, so let's kick it off. Is it okay if we kick it off with tell me something good, Brent?
Yeah, heck yeah, man.
Awesome.
How about you, Johnny? What good thing happened to you the last few days?
So, Valerie had our first baby. Little.
Hold on. I have fudge. My phone's frozen. Rob. Anyway, it's not Rob's fault, but I have the best picture. If my phone, this is terrible timing. It just totally froze right now. It won't move. All right. Well, that's anticlimactic.
I think is it the photo that we sent you and James?
Yes.
Well, yeah, I want to see this.
Yeah, this is a good photo. And
Pull
so
it up. It's the best photo I've ever seen of a mom giving birth to a child. Ever. I want to see. I can't see, John.
I'm trying to, Brent. I'm trying to.
Just put it at the screen.
It's
or something.
opening. It's opening.
Does she know you're sharing that in the meeting right now?
So
That's like, holy crap, what did we just do?
that's exactly what. So to give you some context to the photo, the little man had just been born. Like I got to help birth him, and so I pulled him out and was putting him on Valerie's chest for the first time, and that was the face she made. She's like, "Oh my gosh!"
So sweet. Awesome.
Yeah,
That baby is like, what, 3 seconds out of the chute
Yeah.
there?
yeah. 3 seconds out of the chute.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So yeah, that's my tell me something good. I win today. Who else has something?
Oh, man. That's so great.
Who else has something like any new leads? Go ahead. Drew.
I'm closing the deal from hell.
It's always good.
All prayers are good. Signing, no more hell in my life. So we're good.
Is that Ron's deal?
That is.
That's good. Good job, Drew.
All multiple personalities are being closed. So we're good.
That's a win.
That's awesome.
I've got like 6 deals going on with Alicia right now.
Wow.
Wow.
Trying to prove. I've got a showing in Cameron Park right after we finish here. And I've got a listing appointment this afternoon, Sister Ty.
Come on. Yeah. All these deals. Like we're yeah.
Okay.
You said before you leave, guys.
I'm doing it on social media mostly. And the best way I can tell you I'm trying to provide hope to people.
What do you mean by that?
Well, I'm telling people that, if your credit's not perfect, talk to me and maybe I can help you. I'm just providing people that are paying. I'm telling them, if you're paying over $2,000 a month in rent right now, and you want to buy a house and you're not too sure about it, your credit is not that great, talk to me. I can help you. And I get them over to Alicia, and she does her magic, but she's the greatest in the world.
There you go. Wonderful.
Awesome.
Cool. All right. And then I believe Mr. Gove, you have something you want to share today.
What do you want?
Yeah, come up here so we can see you. Yeah. We'll make you front and center.
The real deal right there.
Hey, Brent got him the big guns today.
The OG. Yeah, just stand up.
I get over here. Okay.
There you go.
Okay. Look at guys. Congratulations, John. You and Valerie. I'm so excited for you.
Thank you.
It brings me back to something happened about 55 years ago.
Yeah. The greatest day in America.
So anyway, that life goes on. Look at guys. Let me just give you a setup, and I've got somebody here I want to just introduce you to real quick. But what would happen to your business and to your lives right now if the state of California told you that every other week or this week you had to stay in your house for the next 7 days? And if you went to the grocery store and you drove there and you got to the grocery store and there's no food in the grocery store. And if your car was running low on gas, you went to the gas station and you had to get in line. And the line was going to, last time this guy went to the gas station, as far as I know, the line was way long and the gas station is only open 7 days, 7 hours a day, 8 hours. And they were there in that line for 2 weeks to get 6 gallons of gas.
Wow.
Big problem. This is Venezuela today. I was there 21 years ago with a team when it was a good place. Everybody had phones up in the stands. It was an amazing place. One of the wealthiest countries in Central America it was. And we were at the Army base there, Caracas. I met the ambassador. It was like a different time. Well, things have changed there. And of course, the socialists took over. And so what can we do? Well, I have a friend here, and right here, Stephen, I asked him if he could join the meeting for a few minutes, and I wanted him to answer any questions you might have real quick, because I know it's a real estate meeting and so forth. But Steve I met Steve there 21 years ago. He and his brother were interns at his parents' church out in a church there, and it was just part of the experience we had. I was there with a team of Christian athletes. We would go out and play fast pitch softball with the best teams in the area there. And then we would have a chance to try to share the gospel with them at the games, give out information if they want to get more information. So that's what we were doing. But 21 years later, Stephen is an American missionary that I think miraculously got his visa continued, or his ability to go back to Venezuela there. As far as I know, he's going back in 3 weeks. He'll be the only American missionary in Venezuela. It's just one of those things. But so what he wants to do and what I want to do for him, and you can have this, down there, if you can't get gas or you can't get much gas and it's 2 weeks or a week, doesn't matter, you have bicycles. Now, Steve's taking a bunch of bicycles down. He doesn't know how much you can have from Miami's to ship down, but what he can do down, and he'll have to pay the government officials $100 a bike or whatever it is to give to families so they can go someplace and talk. Well, he can buy bicycles from China, and the bicycles are a little bit less than $200, but say $200, and he gives those bicycles to families so they can plug them in at night. They got batteries on them, and then they can go someplace the next day to get food for the families, to do their thing. That's that part of it. The other part is he's established over 22 underground home churches in Venezuela. That's what's going on right now. So with that, I just give you, and Steve is on staff with an organization I'm part of. I can help you with that. But if you want to give $200 or buy 5 families bicycles, you can do it this way through Stephen. He's going back with his family, wife, 2 kids, 3 kids. Anyway, so that's RC. I played golf with him about 3 weeks ago. He was up here for a golf tournament that we sponsored. Brett and I were corporate sponsors of that. And so that's Stephen. So Stephen, you got 3 minutes to tell us about Venezuela.
Well, hello, everybody. My name, like you said, is Stephen RC. I'm a 3rd generation missionary in the country of Venezuela. And the Lord has been gracious to allow us to continue working in this beautiful country, but that is right now under chaos. We are in the middle or in the process of a civil war, but it's pretty much the people against the government without any ability to actually fight. Over 10 years, we lost the ability to bear arms. And Venezuela is a country that used to be the primary country in Latin America. We're one of the richest countries with oil. The largest producer of oil in the world, but because of communism, because of socialism, this country is practically destroyed. Today, we live in a country that pretty much there's no gas, even though we're the largest producer of oil in the world. There's hardly any food. There's no medicine. Most of the people have left. 5 years ago was the biggest exodus of the history of Venezuela. People just leaving right and left. Some people walking from Venezuela to Colombia because the government wasn't issuing them passports or anything like that. And so it just got to a point where the country has imploded within itself and now is just self-destroying pretty much day by day. The Lord has opened an opportunity for my family and I. We arrived in Venezuela, my parents did, in 1983, and we were issued a visa that no longer exists anymore. But because we had it from that very beginning point, we have been able to continue having it till today. And we're there not to change the political status of the country. We're there to reach out and help out the people. So one of our projects through our church, we have a small church there called the Gathering Point, about 200 members. And our objective is to reach out to the community. We do medical clinics. We help out with children's ministries, youth ministries, a lot of counseling. We've got several psychologists in our church, both my brother and I, our therapists ourselves too. And we've been helping out the community with the different issues going on. But then also we're feeding the people, we're helping it out. But one of the things I realized is it doesn't matter if I had $10,000 a day, I still would not be able to help everybody out. And so one of the best things, instead of just handing out money or food, is being able to give somebody a means of making money and producing some income for their family. So because of the gasoline outages and the lack of it, one of the projects we've been starting is a bicycle ministry. We can pretty much purchase a bicycle for about $150 to $200, and we can give a bicycle to a family member. By giving them a bicycle, they become self-sufficient at that point because they can go out and become a delivery person for any business that is still working. And they can make anywhere from $2 to $5 maybe a week, where normally they were making $3 a month at a job. That's the minimum wage and salary right now. And so we're trying to raise funds to be able to purchase bicycles for these people. So what we do is we do like a bicycle run. We go out and we help these different communities of families that are just sitting at home. Most of them are starving. You'll walk in and you'll see just skin and bones on these people because they can't afford to buy food anymore. Most of them are relying on one person out of maybe 4 or 5 that live in a home to work, and they're bringing in $5 a month, and then they're trying to provide food for all these people. So my primary goal is to get back to Venezuela and continue producing some kind of help for the people that are suffering, as this country is in the middle of a huger war, which is, political. Russia and China, even America, trying to figure out, who's going to get more oil, and America's trying to see how they can relieve Venezuela, but then there's all these stoppages with all these other countries. So in the meantime, the people there are suffering tremendously. So we're excited to get back, even though it's very dangerous. It's not an easy country to live in. The Lord has allowed us to learn the strategy of how to live in a country like this. And we are determined to continue being there as long as God provides us a visa. And we're there, headed back in about 3 weeks to be a help. I'm shipping probably right now about 40 bicycles I've got in a little shipping container, and I'm going to be sending food and medicine and clothes and shoes. And when I get there, I'm going to be blessing a lot of families for Christmas. So if I could do anything, is I would challenge you to see if there is a way that you could be a part of this, or feel like you want to be a part of this. Jim's got all my information, but we would love to hear from you. And if nothing else, if you believe in Christ like I do, just please pray for us. Keep us in your prayer. And as we continue to do this, what God has called us to do. So thank you for your guys' time.
That's awesome, man. That is a beautiful thing. Dad, you hijacked our meeting, but this is cool. We don't normally get into politics and all that, but I hate communism, and I can say that, and socialism sucks too. So yeah, put Kathy and I down for $5,000 for some bikes. I'll make sure my dad gets that to you, no problem. And anybody else who wants to help out a family, I mean, geez, $5 a month. I mean, wow. So if anybody wants to do a bike, reach out to my dad. Dad, you're 85. You get to hijack the office meeting. It's okay. I love you. And this is a good cause. You're a shining light, Pops, in a dark world. I like your yellow polo. All right. Thank you. Nice to meet you, my man, from Colombia, Venezuela. Where are you now? You're back in the stateside, right?
Yeah, I'm in Chattanooga right now. And then I'll be headed down to Miami on Monday, and then flying out to Venezuela on the 20th. So
sweet. Keep up the good work, man. You're a good dude. What's your first name again?
Steven.
Nice to meet you, Steven.
Yeah, man. I appreciate it so much.
Great to meet you. God bless.
Yeah, y'all have a great day.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Jim. So if you want to reach out, if you want to get any information on how you can help support the cause, reach out to the man in the bright yellow polo, Mr. Jim.
The
Gove.
man in yellow. That's awesome.
All right. Back to business at hand. Lender update. I don't see Alicia in the room. Is Alicia? Saying what now?
Rodney's in the room.
Rodney's in the room. Mr. Rodney,
Yes, sir.
you got a lender update for us? What's happening in the wonderful
Rates are
world of
great,
lending?
right? Rates are trending. I know I've been kind of the contrarian in the marketplace saying that rates are probably going to get better based off of the financial news that are coming in. It was kind of key in today. It's still maybe I was at 60-40 thinking that December is going to be the biggest month to kind of watch that with news that's coming out. I still call that for the big month. But today the stock market and everything else is kind of looking at the inflation numbers, which came in 3 times lower than expected.
Oh, wow.
So the inflation is a key to the interest rates, right? Interest rates always outpace inflation, and inflation has been, is it going to be transitory or sticky is kind of the big, terms that have been floating around. And it's starting to look like it was going to be more sticky than transitory, but it's obviously today came in only one day, right? But I expect that. Why? Is because we're looking at numbers from a year ago versus, today and the data, comparing it. So the numbers were at 0, literally a year ago, right? Because everything had rocked because of COVID. And then you look at what it is today and the spread is huge. But the reality is the movement between 0 and today was getting back to normal. It's not really inflationary. That's this transitory portion of that. So the Fed is moving away from buying bonds, which supports keeping rates low, right? As they do that, that puts the pressure on supply and demand. Everything's always supply and demand. And as things get, less money supply, rates tend to go up, but it also will put a damper on the economy, slowing it down. And the Fed does not want that to happen. That's why that it was buying the bonds. So hence December, the big time when all this will come together. My fear was in December, it gets a little diluted because what happens in December? That's a big holiday buying season, right?
Yeah.
Economy. But right now we have a supply issue. I don't know how many people saw that I posted on there. I was in Orange County last week and the ships are off. It's insane. We have a supply issue that is really kind of fake, right? In a way. So I think that what we're going to see is more chance that rates will begin with a 1 in January. How crazy is that?
Really?
Yeah.
That's a round of applause. Merry
That's
Christmas.
my prediction. I'm contrary to that. Either way, rates are going to be great. You don't want that going up to your client's rate. They're going to want to not pull the trigger today, but just feel good about moving forward. Get your clients lined up so they're ready to take advantage of the market when it's coming into play. But with that said, today, I have a deal closing in the 1s right now, 1.8, 15 year, right? I got 2s for 30 year. I have, which I brought up before, DCSR, right? Debt service coverage ratio for investors, meaning that, you can buy a home or an investor can buy a home. No real, they want their FICO. Some want FICO. I have lots of different platforms for this, but you can get an investor, they can refi, pull cash out, buy another property, right? Or just keep good relationships with your investors and get them a reduced rate. My DSCR rate started at 3.25.
What's that mean?
The DSCR.
How's that compare to like interest rates for everybody else?
Oh, you're going to pay a little bit more, but actually 3.25 on an investor loan, the best rates is
Very
great.
good.
Yeah.
Very good.
But I have them scaled depending on there's a matrix, right? Your FICO, the LTV, and, various other things depending on the investor that you're dealing with and the particular individual will get that. But needless to say, there's a ton of equity that can be pulled out of properties today to do another transaction. There's there's a ton of, and I have now, which has been the elusive part for self-employed, same thing, right? Everybody in this room is probably self-employed, or most of us in here, and that is a challenge. If you're writing off a lot of things, I can get you the same kind of a deal. If you are owner occupied, that's been a challenge because non-QM and the guidelines, which all those loans kind of fall under, are difficult for some investors to wrap their head around for disclosures and compliance issues. But now those are becoming available if you're self-employed as well on your home. Owner occupied, same kind of thing, starting in the 3s. And the nice thing about that scenario is we're not, although limits have been increased, right? We've probably all seen that for the conforming loans,
Yep.
right? The DSCR and the non-QMs don't have those kind of limitations. So if you have $1 million loan, no problem, right? You're not confined by that. I don't want to hijack the whole meeting with this kind of stuff. So, if you have questions on that, please feel free. I've been posting a lot on the team page. But rates are great. Programs are abundant. There's no reason not to be closing tons of deals and helping clients line up for that next wave coming.
Perfect. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rodney.
You bet.
Any questions for Rodney?
I'd like to say this, if anyone's out there, you need to really connect with Rodney. The more you understand this, the more resourceful you become to the clients, the more resourceful you are to the clients, the more you're going to succeed and your confidence will rise. If you don't understand stated income and investor products and you'll meet to them, you're like, yeah, I kind of, but if you know your stuff, people will take up and take notice. I couldn't see in the back. It's hard to see here on the Zoom. Who had the 6 deals in escrow on the back? Who was that?
Monty.
Monty. Congratulations, Monty.
Thank you.
And I love what he said. He's giving hope to the hopeless. That's what, when you think you can't buy a house and your credit's bad, it's depressing. Mine's out there saying, hey man, call me. I'll find a way. It was actually, I wrote my notes today. One of the keys to being successful in real estate, everyone write this down. Grab a phone, get a notepad, write this down. Resourcefulness. You must be resourceful. What does resourcefulness mean? I will find a way. I will find a way. I don't know, but I will talk to 100 people if I have to. Somehow, somewhere, somebody knows how to get this done. And so I think, Rodney, you should do a full hour one of these Thursdays. You guys need to know every program. You need to know it. And then you need to do is get your people on the phone with Rodney. Get your people on the phone with Alicia. Rodney and Alicia tend to come to this team meeting and support us. We want to support Rodney and Alicia. And so support them, get to know them, but educate yourself. Everybody wants to make $500,000 a year in real estate, $250,000 a year, $750,000. Do you understand what a conventional loan is, a jumbo loan, a FHA loan, normal conventional loan, interest rates, closing costs? Are you really schooled up? Do you really deserve to make even $100,000 a year? And so the loan portion of what we do is like the heartbeat. Boom, 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 boom. I mean, and you saw our friend there. Hey, find me. And then what's he do? He gets them to. I'm sorry. Was it Jordan? Was it
Monty?
Monty.
It sounds like Jordan. Just kidding, Monty. But Monty, what's he doing? He's getting them to Alicia. So whether you work with Alicia or you work with Rodney, they're both amazing human beings. They'll both do you right. The key is when you're talking to people, talk for a minute, sound impressive, but say, you know what? You got a second? We're going to call Rodney right now. Put him on FaceTime. 80% of communication is visual. Don't just call him. FaceTime Rodney. FaceTime Alicia. Let them connect. Let them make eye contact. And then Rodney and Alicia know what to do. They will make an appointment with your client, and then they'll massage that credit and they'll flip them back to you on whatever program they could find, because they are both extremely resourceful. I mean, Rodney's been doing this. He is almost older than my dad. But he is. Rodney's been doing loans for 35 years and we're good friends. I tease him. And Dad, we love you. You're amazing. I'm just teasing. Our family teases, right? And he is the mascot of the Brent Gove team. We love my pops. We love you, Dad. I love you. So, and then Alicia, she's been doing loans for probably 20 plus years. They're both extremely resourceful. They're scrappy. They bootstrap it. And that you want Rodney and Alicia in your back pocket. You want powerful lenders. And if you can't reach Alicia, call Rodney. If you can't reach Rodney and he's busy and you got to have someone, you can bounce back and forth. That's all good. But I just want to encourage you. And I wanted to praise my friend over there, Monty, for being resourceful. I was going to see, you want a finished final thought, and I'll give it back to you, John, is you want to be an ambassador of hope. Write that down. I say to yourself, I'm an ambassador of hope. That is what you are doing. You're helping people sell. They don't think they can, I don't want to sell, but what am I going to buy? Hey, if you're out there thinking, man, how am I going to find a home? I could totally show you how to put that together. I do it all the time. You're an ambassador of hope. Okay. Is that good? That's who you are. And live it and do it and talk it. I'll give it back to you, John. Awesome. And Chris Okamura, good to see you there again. I love seeing you. It's so good to have you back. This is your second team meeting, right?
Yes.
He's on a streak. He's 2 for 2.
You're looking more vibrant every time I see you. You look good. The rest of you look gnarly. He looks pretty good. All right, go ahead, John.
Awesome. Well, hey, so today we have a special guest. It's the day of guests. There's a lot of new faces in the room. Sorry, we are running short on time, but the guest today is Jesse McDonald with Clear Efficiency Home, and he's going to share some tips on how you can help your sellers make their homes more energy efficient and close more deals
Sweet.
and save marriages. So
Oh,
it's how you can insulate your marriage.
and bring peace to the world. World
Bring peace to the world. Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Johnny and I were talking a little bit about sometimes the dynamic in the home where like the wife or the husband have arguments over, the utility bills and the thermostat. I call it like team hot and team cold because, team hot or team cold are always arguing over where the thermostat should be set. And it seems like the utility bill is kind of the referee in that discussion. So my name's Jesse. I'm the owner of Clear Efficiency. And very coincidental, but we actually share the same office space. So we're located in this office location right here. We service the greater Sacramento area, and we're contractors, and we specialize in making homes more energy efficient and comfortable. So I was invited to speak with you guys today. Manu is one of your guys' realtors, and she's my neighbor. So our kids play on the street, and one thing led to another. So here I am. And I just wanted to talk with you guys a little bit about home construction and energy efficiency, because we're seeing a big shift now in the way that they're building homes. And I know you guys are obviously out there selling homes and talking to homeowners. And I don't know if you guys do a lot of new construction, or does anybody do new construction in here, or just existing reselling homes?
Yeah.
Okay. So they've, over the last 30 years, building science has really come a long way in figuring out how to build homes with much more energy efficiency, and building codes are being updated now to reflect these new changes in science that we figured out. So now you've got this brand new home that's being built today that's 3,000 square foot with a utility bill under $100. And then you got these 1,500 square foot homes that are built in the 70s that have utility bills at $300. And people sometimes they don't realize that, like what they're getting into until they move in and then start seeing what the utility bills end up at. So this is the challenge and dynamic that we're helping people with. So I wanted to educate you guys a little bit about what the differences are between how they're building homes today and the older homes that you guys are out there reselling, and just what you can do about it to try to improve things a little bit. So if you want to hit the slide for me.
Yeah.
So we are Clear Efficiency is a Pearl contractor. We partnered with Pearl, which is an organization that certifies our work for us. So a third party certifies our work. And Pearl is partnered with the National Association of Realtors, the Department of Energy, and Building Performance Institute, as well as the Appraisal Institute too. Slide. And so because this report that we generate, and you can hit the slide one more time, is an appraisal addendum that comes. So after we do an efficiency improvement for a home, we get it certified so that your homeowner can give this report to the appraiser who's assessing the property. Because a lot of times, like insulation, windows, solar, these things kind of go unnoticed by the appraisers unless you kind of raise your hand and go, wait a minute, I did like 30 grand of home efficiency improvements in here. This is a way nicer house than the neighbor's homes, and we want our homeowners to get credit for that. So with this report, it allows you to do that. So you get the appraisal addendum with our improvements. Okay. So your home could be worth more, right? And that's what it's about. Taking these older homes and making it more like a new house. Okay.
And you said it adds 5%.
Yeah. Third-party certifications can add 5% to the sales price of a high-performance home. So things like solar, windows, insulation, they found on average about 5% of the total sales price. Can reflect as far as the net increase in value. So the biggest difference between these newer houses and these older houses is the ability to control airflow in the house. That's the biggest difference. So you have an old drafty house versus an airtight house. And they even have ways, it's kind of crazy, but they have ways to build a house up in Canada in the freezing winter that doesn't even require heating.
Oh, wow.
Okay. All they have in the home is like essentially a backup heater equivalent to a hairdryer for heat, to heat a 2,500 square foot house. So they know how to do it, but to actually get that done requires extreme measures, which gets onto the scale of not really getting value back. You can overkill it, you know what I mean? Where you're not going to get so much value out of that house, even though it's a super high performance, energy efficient home. So what are we going to try to do? We're going to try to strike a happy medium, you know, to provide value to these homeowners. So a passive house is a home that doesn't really require heating and cooling. And the difference is and I even brought a laser pointer here to show you. In the summertime, heat's going to get in as cold air escapes the home. And in the wintertime, the cold air gets in as heat escapes the home in traditional construction. The new houses, the new houses they're building today aren't passive house standards, but they're better. You know, they're more airtight. They can control the air. So instead we recirculate the cooled air that we've already conditioned and recirculate the heating air that we've already conditioned, depending on the season.
Is that just a result of bad insulation or are there other factors?
A lot of factors. Insulation is one factor, but the ability to control the air tightness of the structure so that air doesn't come in or out is really the biggest difference on those super energy efficient houses. Yeah, so super energy efficient versus traditional. So like most of the homes you guys were selling out there were built like this with the vented attic. So you've got air that flows into the attic here, and then you've got insulation, this little red stuff around the inside of the house. This is like normally what you see. You see the air conditioning system up in the attic there. And the problem with this design is that because it's 140 degrees in the summertime, that AC has to combat these extreme temperatures and environment here in the attic just to cool your air down before it even gets back into the house. So 40% of the energy required to do that is burned up just combating that environment of the attic. So if you, and click one more time. And so what they're doing now is this is like the next step with is they're insulating the roof decking here rather than the attic floor, and they're bringing all of this ductwork inside of the thermal envelope of the home. So they're sealing the attics off so there's no air flowing into the attic anymore. It's called a conditioned attic. And they can do this because they got really cool material here that's at the top of the roof that actually allows moisture to escape, but not air. It's kind of crazy. But that's one of the biggest challenges. You know, in history, they didn't have these materials. So before we had to let air flow in and out because we needed to let the moisture escape. You know, we're living in the house, we're breathing in the house, we're taking showers, we're cooking, we're cleaning. One person generates about 1.1 gallons of moisture a day living in the house. So that needs to be vented. That's why they built homes like this. But now that we're getting more toward energy efficiency, they're deciding, well, we're going to go like this and bring this all inside. And this is going to relieve the extra energy required to overcome that 140 degrees. So now when you have an attic that's about 85 degrees, the AC doesn't even need to work hardly as hard at all. But it presents new challenges because when you're burning gas in a home that's sealed, you can have poisonous gases that get inside the home. So that could be a concern. So what they're doing now with building codes, Sacramento already adopted it, and in 2022 they're going to go to all electric. So they're doing this because they're trying to prevent, you know, poisonous gases, carbon monoxide, you know, NOx, NOx from getting into the house and, you know, posing a threat to people sleeping. So this is where construction's going. They want to go all electric. They've already required solar as a minimum standard for new construction homes now starting being this year. So this is the first year that they required that. So, and then they're going to start building homes like this, where they're going to make it all electric appliances and heating and cooling. So kind of interesting, but this is the direction that we're going. So you can hit the slide. And the old style vented attics, they have a lot of leaks around, especially where penetrations go through the attic floor right here. So we're sitting inside the home, you're looking at the ceiling. You don't see it because there's lots of layers in the construction, but around each vent for the HVAC system, lights, walls, everything that's connected to the ceiling, there's going to be a gap there where air is leaking through. And that's kind of how air transfers from inside to the attic. So next slide. So, and click one more time. A little video. Oh, go back. I don't know why that didn't play. Okay, well, maybe click click that. No, okay, go back. So yeah, that was supposed to be a little video illustrating.
I don't think there's a link there.
Yeah, it's okay.
You're good?
Yeah, just put it back up. Yeah. So this was supposed to play to show these arrows that are flying through the ceiling here, and how what happens is in the summertime, or excuse me, in the wintertime, when you're heating the home, the hot air rises and it escapes through the top of the house, and it pulls the cold air in from underneath the house. So that's how you get these icy cold drafts on your toes in the wintertime. That's where they come from. The icy cold draft is actually being drawn into the house because the hot air is escaping through the top of the house. but people don't really make that connection because it's totally hidden under the construction layers. So go ahead, next slide. So the solution that we need to do is we need to distinguish the inside from the outside as best as possible. So this is done by focusing right here on the building envelope. The envelope is where the line is drawn from the inside to outside. And so currently on the homes you guys are mostly dealing with, you're dealing with homes that are built like this, where you got insulation in the attic right here on top of the ceiling. So that's the line that we need to draw to improve. So we can improve that a couple different ways. Go ahead. We can air seal or airsolate the attic floor. Airsolate is a trademark term that we use because we developed that word. We made it up, but it's air seal and insulate put together. What we do is we focus right here on where it matters the most, on the ceiling here, on the attic side. So we can air seal and insulate that really good. So that's one thing you can do. You can also replace your old windows with insulated glass windows. So go ahead. So before and after, the old grids, not too many people are favoring those nowadays. They want to go clear glass, get a better view. So and have that energy efficiency and comfort to go along with it. And then of course, insulated doors. You can have a beautiful door that's still super energy efficient. So that's nice. And then solar too, you can produce your own energy. This is not so much controlling the airflow inside the house. This is just taking that next level of independence and telling the utility companies to go pound sand, because now you're your own utility company. And you convert that utility bill into an asset by paying yourself to produce your own energy. So this is really a big deal in California because energy rates, especially in PG&E area, are triple national average. So just like Rockland right here, we're seeing 2001 construction with an average utility bill about $350 a month, and in summer it's $700. People are moving out here and they're going, oh, I just moved from so-and-so state. On the Facebook group, is a $700 bill normal? And everybody's like, welcome to Rockland. It's just like a standard thing. Yeah. So this is kind of the challenge that a lot of people are dealing with. And this guy right here, I love this photo because he's just like, yes, I did it.
America.
And we use American made products. So I love the flag there. But go ahead. So clear efficiency, we've done this for a lot of different homeowners. We're still a newer company. I've been in the business now for about 14 years working for other contractors, and I started clear efficiency almost 3 years ago. So, but when it comes to the results that we're getting clients, we got super good ratings. When we do this for people, all A ratings, Super Service Award 2019 and 20 on Angie's List, and we've got all 5-star reviews on every platform on the internet. And it's because we get these results. So like, for example, this home here in Roseville, she already had solar on the house, and this is what her utility bills were looking like as far as the kilowatt hours she was using every single year. And then when we air insulated her house, got it up to R60 in the insulation, and then replaced her windows, she had negative utility bills. So you can imagine how happy she was to have negative bills. That's like a really cool thing. So, the next slide, we've got tons of reviews out there. You can keep clicking a couple more times. And just to give you a few examples there, and then at the end, this is what we're trying to do for homeowners, is help them gain control of their home's comfort and energy costs so they can thrive. It really is a different thing when you don't have to argue with your wife or your spouse anymore about where the thermostat set, what the utility bill is going to come in at. You don't care anymore. Okay, I've done this for myself. I've got 3 kids at home. I used to argue, we can't have it that low. We're going to get a ridiculous bill, but the baby has to sleep. You're right. Baby does have to sleep. Got to keep it comfortable. Okay, so I just put up with it. But then once we went solar, once we insulated, we did the windows, like, I don't even care anymore. My average bill last year was only $12 a month. Wow. So, okay, wherever you want to set it, go ahead. And you know what they say, happy wife, happy life. And it tends to be true in my experience. Yeah. So anyway, that's all I wanted to share with you guys today, and go over any questions you guys have.
Yeah.
Well, I can attest to what you're saying with the difference of building. We went from our old place that was built in 2012, and we got some of those $600-700 bills in the summer to a newer place that's built in 2018, and it's $40 a month. It's 3,300 square feet.
Wow.
I don't care about anything. Like you're saying, me and my wife used to do it all the time, back and forth. I don't care what it's set at. Like, it's $40.
What do you attribute that to?
The building, and now we do have solar as well. Okay, and granted it's leased. I moved into it with like that. I would have much rather bought it, but But yeah, I mean, the efficiency of how they build nowadays is tremendously different, and it's only 5 years, 6 years in between those two different places, but it's huge.
What would be an average cost to take like a 2,000 square foot home? Air storage.
Yeah, so there's essentially like 3 levels you can do. With insulation, what I love about it is we can really customize the scope of work to fit the specific needs and the budget as well too. Because you can do a little bit, you can do it in the middle, or you can do a lot. Like usually projects start out like just a couple $1,000s if they want to add insulation. But if they want to do like a whole air sealing on the house, which really makes a huge impact, or closer to like $5,000 range. And sometimes we run into problems where there's like rodents that damage the attic and we have to do complete removal and replacement. And, then you can be pushing it closer to $10,000 depending on what level of damage there is. And those are more rare, but I know with realtors, we've worked a lot though, like where you come across an inspection and that inspector found like a major rat infestation. So it needs to be cleaned out. And we could do that too. And usually those projects take a couple of days, but that's definitely something we can help with. So windows, those vary, just like with the supply challenge that you guys were mentioning in your meeting here, windows are also in that same category right now. Prices increased quite substantially just the last 6 months on windows, and turnaround times like quadrupled. So now we're talking like 3-4 months to get windows installed when it used to be just 1 month, even just 9 months ago. So a little bit different there. And hopefully things will level out on that as things get better. But insulation though, it's in stock, it's ready to install. We can do that next week. So that's really good. Solar, it's also about a 2-month turnaround right now. And a lot of people are trying to do that because the utility companies are fighting back, and it's been about 2 years, but they're changing the way net metering works. And I'd be happy to go into details on that later if you guys wanted to talk to me. But essentially, it's not going to be as much of a benefit for the homeowner anymore if they sign up for solar next year. So, and that deadline is approaching quite quickly. We don't know exactly when they're going to implement net metering 3.0, but the decision will be made in late December, and then they'll decide are they going to implement it like in February or August is kind of the range we're looking at next year. So things will be changing in the solar industry, and it's because utility companies need more revenue and they don't like losing so many customers. So there's kind of that back and forth going on right now. So yeah.
Awesome.
Do you provide battery backups also?
Yeah, battery backup's a big thing. Recently, battery technology has come a long way. We do have battery backup, mainly people that are in the shut off service areas, like in the foothills, in the fire zones. They get shut off power for like 5 to 9 days. Like
Yeah, but I was thinking about if you put solar on your area, like put solar and put batteries in the garage. You just pretty much can tell as you say, the electric company go pound sand. You don't even have to connect to them.
Yeah, it's possible to be disconnected, but it's a lot more expensive to do that. So most of the time what we do is we stay connected to the grid and just generate electricity so the meter turns backwards at night. We get to use that power back. If we build it right, it'll be zeroed out bill. That's what most people do.
What's the life cycle for a typical battery?
Well, battery backups are guaranteed for like 10 years right now. So when solar panels can last like 30 to 40 years and are guaranteed for 25. So panels last way longer than batteries do. So we'll see. Battery technology will eventually catch up. I know a lot of the cars and stuff are going to be transforming to that. A lot of manufacturers have already said by 2035 we're 100% electric now.
Yeah.
So that's all changing. So the entire building and society is going to be gravitating toward more electricity. And as electricity rates continue to rise, eventually people are going to have to do stuff to try to fix it because you're stuck with the utility company that you have.
I see I've got a question. I have a lot of, and I'm sure many people do. Escrows with homes that built in 1955, or one in 1925. I mean, seriously old homes. Would it be feasible for us to give you business, say, hey, Jesse, can you come out and do an evaluation of their home efficiency, and then suggest either between the installation, batteries, or solar that you can suggest how they can dramatically drop their bill? Is that air insulated, as you say?
Yeah, that's exactly what we do. We provide free estimates for your homeowners. We use thermal cameras. We use our education from the Building Performance Institute. I'm a certified building analyst. We can go in and take a look at where is energy being lost, what's going to make the biggest impact, provide different options for the homeowner, A, B, or C, how far do you want to take it, and then let them pick one they like.
Awesome.
That's usually how we do
There's
it.
no charge.
Do you have a car, or are you gonna put this in from my work?
I get you guys a bunch of business cards, and then of course Johnny can send out my information too. So I'm happy to be a resource for you guys and your clients too. Even if you want to just call and bounce off questions, when it comes to building stuff and energy efficiency and things like that.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Jesse.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great housewarming gift. Once you close escrow, hand him Jesse's card and say, here you go. This guy's going to help you really make it great. And then for the rest of us that have been using power from our neighbor's house, we can be legal again. I can use my extension cords at Christmas now to power the Christmas lights. Because I've been sucking power from Stroop's house for years. No.
Awesome. Well, guys, give Jesse a round of applause. So, yeah, I wanted to bring Jesse because we're hearing more and more and more like what are the costs? The HOA, the Melrose, and I'm starting to hear more and more. What are the costs of utilities, especially people moving out of state, people moving from Rockland or Roseville to Rockland, Roseville to El Dorado Hills, you know, when you start getting into the PG&E zones, and to be able to advertise the home as being energy efficient has a dollar, like a value to that buyer and to that seller. So just keep that in mind. We only have about 10 minutes left, and is there an interest? I put together a slide presentation on Google My Business.
Yes.
So do you guys want to learn a little bit about Google My Business? Okay. Okay. All right. So let me go back to sharing the screen.
How did you do all this and you had a baby? That's just crazy.
There, I have a secret weapon. It's called an amazing wife.
The wife.
Yeah.
The wife actually had the baby.
The wife. Yeah. The wife had the baby. And
did it hurt?
And a shameless plug. There's a Rebecca Rose Doula Services. If you're having grandkids and you want to bless the family, I suggest Rebecca. Or if you're gonna have a kid, I suggest Rebecca's.
What does she do?
They're doula services. What they do is they help. So I'm trying to do three things at once. So what they do is prior to the birth, there is a resource for us, like, hey, here's some tips. Here's how you can prepare for the birth. Here's what to expect. They're there at the baby appointments. And then they're there present before Valerie went to the birthing center. So they were helping Valerie labor at home. And then they're there during the birth. So they're there through the whole process. But the really cool thing and the life-changing thing for us, especially as first-time parents, is they're there 24/7. So they're a buffer between Valerie and mothers-in-laws or mothers or anybody. And they help with breastfeeding, what's normal, what's not. They watch the kid, right? So I'm conked out asleep, and after Valerie's done feeding little JJ, they take the kid and he's crying and they change the diaper and they do all that, and they just provide like all the peace of mind that first-time parents don't get to experience. Wow. They provide that. So
wow, they stay at your house.
Yeah, they stay at the house. They're there 24/7 for as long as you want. And they are like,
my gosh.
So like the moms, we're going way off base here, but the moms were kind of threatened by it. They didn't like it. They wanted to be that resource. But then after seeing how wonderful these ladies are and how they treat Valerie and the baby, and now they don't have to do night duty. They get to go home, stay in the hotel or sleep at their own house, come up the next morning and get to hang out with a happy mama and a happy baby. Okay. Nice. Rather than do night duty and be exhausted all day the next day. So
Brent, that might be a good closing gift too. Just saying.
Oh my God. That is amazing. It is stressful. I remember it is stressful.
Yeah. And it still is, but it's just that much less.
Johnny, you should put their information on the website.
Yeah, we will. Oh yeah. But
we got to get them in and be guest speakers. This is important stuff.
This is life-changing. All right. Also life-changing, real estate, Google My Business. Everybody here knows of this, right? But who here has it? Raise your hand if you have a Google My Business account. I'm seeing a handful of hands. Okay.
Just started.
If you have one, just started. Okay. So
John, do I have one? Do I have one, John?
You do. You do.
Do I?
So here's what they are, just in case you don't know what they look like. That's not what it looks like. So let's look up. So you look up Brent Gove, and then you see over here where it says Gove Enterprises. This is Google My Business. Okay, so where the value comes to you as a real estate agent is, let's say you look up Roseville Realtor. Oh, we see a pretty girl up there. Right, pretty mama. So that's happening free of charge. Okay, that's really hard to accomplish, But you can see if you type in Roseville Realtor, it's Valerie's face popping up. And that's done through Google My Business and optimizing that. And so that's what we're gonna get into really quick. Doesn't take long. So, all right, so the first thing you want to do, and this is being recorded, so if ever you want to go back, we're going to go through it just so you have the content, but then go back, you can hop on Brent Gove's YouTube channel and it'll be there, so you can pause it and watch it at your own pace. What you want to do is you go to account.google.com and you're going to create a Google account. This is free. This is why I really want to share it with everybody, is because this is free. This doesn't cost money to do. And then you just create your Google My Business account. The steps involved with doing that, there are steps, but again, we can cover it in 5 minutes. It's not a big deal. Oh, I'm sorry. It's not challenging. So make sure you download the mobile app. I put that. So the step one, go to the web page. Step two, download the mobile app. The reason why you want to download the app is because they are pushing a lot of users of Google My Business to engage with that app. So one of the things you want to do, obviously, is collect reviews, and you want to reply to those reviews. Turns out I found 5 reviews because we have 212 reviews right now. I found 5 that I had not replied to, but on the website, on the computer version, it said I'd replied to all of them. But on the app, it said it found 5. So make sure you have that app. And then what you're going to have to do once you've created this account is you're going to have to verify your Google My Business. So that is going to be whatever address you're claiming, and you have to receive mail there. So they typically send a postcard to the address that you're claiming is your storefront. You can claim 915 as your storefront, but there's a lot of real estate agents here. If 915 Highland Point is not your office, then you're gonna have to, some people claim their houses, some people claim, wherever their office is, but you have to receive mail there. If you don't receive mail, you won't get that postcard, and it's that code on that postcard that you use to activate your Google My Business account, okay? So some tips and tricks, if you do have a Google My Business account, or if you don't, what you want to be sure that you're doing is that your name matches exactly all of your other sites. So for us, we're made for more -EXP Realty is our team name. So on all of our other sites, it has to be made for more -EXP Realty. The address on Facebook has to be 915 Highland Point Drive, Suite 250, has to match exactly what it says on Google My Business. And what that allows, it allows Google to sync up with those other platforms, and it increases the credibility of your business when it's able to automatically find that. You can't force that. They have to find it. What you're going to do is, Brent's face is covering it up a little bit, is when you're going through and building your profile, you want to make sure that you select real estate agency. For whatever reason, you don't try and put in a custom one as agents, but you want to select agency. And you can be like a real estate agent, real estate consultant, but the category and subcategory that you're going to look for is real estate agency. All right, so service areas. These are the markets that you service. They can be zip codes, can be cities, but you want to list as many as possible. And it'll end up looking like this. It'll create a little map. So if you've ever been online and you looked up and it says their service area, typically it's like highlighted in red or blue. Like you can say all of Sacramento or just Roseville. This is where you put that in there. So make sure you can list as many as appropriate, but make sure you service that area. Because if you get a call or if you start doing the paid forward version, running ads, Google will track that if you're not responding to the leads in your service area, and they will decrease your ranking. So list as many as appropriate for your business. And again, character content has to be consistent. So if there's a dash or a period, it has to be the same across the web.
Okay, so where do you serve your customers? So in that specific area, is it just where we are actually serving? Or can we put it in different areas where we're finding a lot of people coming from LA? So I see that you have LA on there. So
yeah, this isn't mine. I just took some pictures. So you see all the different, so this is an example of somebody in LA, right? So Malibu, Los Angeles, Santa Monica, right? So what I did, and I understand how this works. I'm a real estate agent. I'm not a Google guru, right? Mm-hmm. But what I did was I just said Sacramento metropolitan area. And so it just kind of encompassed the Sac area. Okay. That's what I did personally. You can do whatever fits best for you. But do not, like, I would not pick Reno, for example, for you, Brian.
Right.
I would not do that. I would
Okay.
pick your immediate area that you're
Okay.
working. Good question. All right, and so the phone number, you're gonna put a phone number in here. This is super cool. We all get KV Core with our membership to EXP. If you want and you're paying extra for a smart number, right? This can be the smart number. This can be this. So the number that we provide on our website is the number that's on our for sale signs. So that way, if somebody calls it, it gets routed to us or gets routed to the agents on the team if you have a team. But you want to make sure you have a phone number in there. And again, Google's pulling everything off of Zillow, Yelp, Realtor.com, Facebook. So make sure everything, you're going to hear me say it at least two more times. It has to be character specific in order for it to sync up and work. Okay, and you can sync up your other social profiles like Facebook, Instagram. You can all have that up here. Because the more you do that, the more you engage with Google My Business. Think about Instagram, right? Or Facebook. The more that you're engaging and posting and using it, the more Instagram tends to favor, Facebook tends to favor your account. The more you're doing that on this, it's another thing that we have to do. But what's great is it's free and everybody begins at Google. So typically you open up a new tab, Google pops up, right? People will go to Zillow, they'll go to Realtor.com, but if they're typing your name, it's you, right? And all roads lead, so Google's the top of the funnel, and then where they go after that changes. Some people prefer Realtor.com, some people prefer Redfin, some Zillow, some your KV Core site, but it all starts at Google. And so I would suggest you do this like before the end of the year, have your Google My Business account created.
John, how important is this to in the future? I mean, this is a no-brainer. They have to do it.
This is a no-brainer. So you all have so do we all have Zillow accounts, like for the free Zillow accounts, right? This is exactly like that, but Zillow isn't, Google's not trying to take your clients. They're not trying to buy the house. They're not trying to make you pay for their leads, right? Google, right? This is not the competition. This is where your clients are going, right? So be there when they're ready. If you go on if you start looking up like if you know any real estate agents or teams on the East Coast and start looking at their profiles, we are light years behind what they're doing on the East Coast. Like Val and I are very proud that we have 212 5-star reviews. On the East Coast, they have 500, 600, 1,000 reviews. They have all this content on their Google My Business sites. So it's coming. It's already happened in other parts of the country. You just want to beat it in our market. Fair enough?
And you can reach out, because we've done this, recommended this to clients. Make a list of all your Zillow reviews, Facebook reviews, Yelp reviews, make a list of who those people are. Then contact a couple of those people every day and say, hey, can you just copy and paste this into a Google review? You know, so just if you don't have any right now,
Yep.
reach out to,
Past clients.
people, a couple a day, because if you reach out to all of them, you get 50 in one day. That's a little sketch. So just,
Yeah.
So it's not something you can do.
No, not me. That's just what we
No,
recommend.
What I mean is we, the agents, can I copy and paste it, the review
You
that I've
can't,
got?
they have to.
Right, it's the individual
Exactly.
client that has to do it, otherwise Google say, this
And
is.
they're looking for those
Friends,
keywords, best
family,
realtor,
customers.
top realtor, so if you have good reviews on Yelp, because remember a few years ago, everyone's like, Yelp, and now that's kind of going.
Now you have to
away
pay.
because
Now you
they
have to pay.
expect
Like
you to pay for it.
MySpace.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, the market's evolving. The market's evolving.
And I'm not super techie, John, but I know when I look for restaurants, this is what I use Google for.
Exactly.
Um,
Exactly.
And you see one that's, 4.7 stars, but they have 3 reviews. You're like, or you see one that's 4.7 with 155 reviews, and
Yep.
they're both Italian restaurants. Who you going to, the 4.7 with 3 or the 4.7 with 157 reviews? It's like, I've done this with Thai food. I'm sorry to relate it to restaurants, but I'm always Googling and I look at the reviews. I look at their stars. And when you see 3.9 stars, 3.5, it's like, oh, no, thank you. Or very few reviews.
Or very few reviews. And here's the thing too, is that it's a good problem on the Made for More team. We only have 5-star reviews. But Google actually likes the authenticity of they want the platform to be genuine. And so they're actually prioritizing, as of today, companies or teams that have 4.8 stars, because nobody's perfect. And so if they see everybody with these 5 stars, they're like, well, that something's a little off there, right? And so if you get a 1-star, if you get a 3-star, if you get a 5-star, and you're not like a perfect 5-star review across Google, don't worry about it. Google actually kind of likes that. And to a certain extent, the customer likes it as well. Because I mean, if I'm looking at somebody and they have, a gazillion reviews and they're all 5 stars, I'm like, what the heck? That's something something suspect there. So don't let that deter you if you're worried, oh no, I have a 1-star review on Google. I don't want anybody to see it. Just overcome it with more 5 stars. And it's actually a good thing. Another thing that you can do to optimize your Google My Business is to hook up Calendly. Calendly is a free tool. Again, this is like it's a scheduling app. Has everybody heard of Calendly? It's pretty industry specific or well known in the industry. So you can hook that up here. So now you have your address is plugged in, your phone number is plugged in, and you have a Calendly link where they can actually book an appointment direct onto your specific calendar or your team's calendar without even having a conversation, right? Personally, I've never experienced this, but the opportunity is there. I did it to optimize the Google My Business page. Okay, these are all we're still playing in the free zone here. Everything's not costing you a dime. And then you can, of course, like on Twitter or Instagram, how you have the short name, you can have the short name. If possible, try to match it to your other social accounts. So that way, like I'm at Johnny Jennings II on Instagram. That way, if they were to look me up on Google, it would be the same thing, right? So just try, if possible, try and match your Google. These are just little tips. If you can't do it, it's not the end of the world, but these are ways to optimize your account. Congruency. So you want to have your official opening date. I would put down whatever day you've been licensed. So that's the date that I would choose. Or if you like, I used to invest in property before being a real estate agent, so I can show like proof of business prior to that date, then use that date. But if you don't, or like if you're on a team like Jared, like I would use Cindy's license date. You want to have a short business description. Again, you want it to be consistent across. Is that me or? So what I've done is the business description on Google is the same one on Realtor.com. It's the same one on Zillow. It's the same one on Facebook, right? Because then again, you're getting that congruency across all platforms that Google likes to see. And then the easy thing is you write it once, you're done, across all these different platforms. So don't even sweat it. Again, you want to be getting reviews. The name of the game is reviews and upload photos. And then that's it. So what you should do is upload photos. So you can go around here, snap some photos, upload them of the office. If 915 is your office, you can go out when you're out showing property. If you have listings, take those listings and upload them onto Google My Business. And here's the new thing that I didn't get a chance to add to the slide deck, but people are able to ask questions. So what you want to do, and what that looks like is, try to get 3 up there. The goal is to have more, but you want to at least have 3. So right here, you can see questions and answers. What I just did was I picked 3 frequently asked questions that we get. So is this the same theme that was both? Okay, I'm kind of staring people there, right? How do you sell homes faster and for more money? Do I need to sell my house before I can buy my next one? You can start like common questions that we get in the real estate industry. You can pose them and answer them as if they're somebody else, because it takes a number of clicks to see who actually asked this question, right? So you're kind of like priming the pump about questions that you frequently asked. So it doesn't look like Johnny asked, do I need to sell my current house before I can buy my next one? And then Johnny answered, right? So you can actually put your own questions on there that either you're getting or you want people to be asking about your business. What differentiates you from other companies? And that's another way to optimize your Google My Business page. So with that, that's that. Again, if you want to create a new Google My Business account, just go to sorry guys, I'm sleepy. And then you can create your own. Again, this is free. This is where the market's going. It took me 15 minutes to explain it to you. It'll probably take you 25 minutes to do. And then it lives there forever. That review lives there forever, right? If Zillow starts becoming your competition, the reviews you have on Zillow are going to go away. If you're advertising on Yelp and then you decide you want to stop advertising on Yelp, your reviews magically disappear and you stop spending money on Yelp, but they will live on Google for the foreseeable future. All right, any questions?
Awesome. Thank Thank you.
Okay, all right. All right, all have a fantastic weekend. Go out and get some open houses. Take care.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
So exciting.
Thanks, Brent. You're muted. You're muted.
Who's there next Thursday?